Pandemic.
When we were doing The Shield, I always comment that I love to read the reviews because it allowed me to see what the show was actually about. um, I'm more of an instinctual writer than an intellectual writer. I'm always amazed at how smart so many of the people in my profession are and how they plan certain things out. I sort of usually realize threads after the fact on things and things that are affecting me. I would say, I guess if there is one thread from the Shield to the unit and now SWAT, that maybe it's the burden that we put on those who protect us and the price that they pay for being the people that protect us. I'm very interested in that dichotomy of what's it mean to be a hero and what's the price you pay for being that hero.
Right. You seem to have, well, so I'm curious then, before we go on and interrogate that more, do you have a background? Is there something in your background that brought you into questioning the nature of heroism? Or is this something that you backed into?
Was I a hero in my younger days? I'd like to think so, but probably
I
not.
realized as I was saying it that that's how it was coming out, which is why I stuttered. And
No.
actually, I'm okay with asking it that way. Were you a hero as a young man? Is that?
No, I have a very boring backstory for a writer. I had loving parents and, who put their kids first and, stressed that I get an education and, drove me to every soccer and hockey game that I played in. And I didn't have a father who was a cop who, would come home and share all these stories. But I guess I was a reader. I really loved to read. And I'm glad I was born in a generation that didn't have iPads in cars. Because my entertainment driving all around was to read books, and I just like to read about people's experiences. And I was always fascinated with not always, but I was fascinated with de Tocqueville, the French author who came to the United States and wrote about the American experience, and he specifically wrote some things about the Midwest where I was from that I thought, wow, this is so accurate, and it's so interesting that it took a French guy in the 19th century to sort of describe to me the Midwest in a way that I understood it. He described it, I think, as like the beating heart of the country. And so I always was open to the idea that you didn't have to be immersed in a certain life to be able to write about it. That if you could observe it, and if you could put your own spin on it, and if you could dissect something in a way that was interesting, then you can write about it. So I was never a cop. The closest thing I got was I worked as student security at my college, for some extra money, walking around with a flashlight and a bib designating myself as campus security. But I never did anything. It wasn't until after the fact, when I was developing the show, The Chicago Code, I spent a couple of nights in Chicago with homicide detectives and actually went out into the street with them and, had a bulletproof vest on and got involved in a chase for a suspect where I found myself in a sort of large car area looking for a suspect going, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I looking for some suspect? What happens if I actually find him?
Thanks for checking out Pandemic, brought to you by Roadmap Writers and Notes for Execs. I'm Joel Silberman, and if you're interested in more intimate interviews with writers on writing, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share. Thanks very much. Stay safe.